Hi class, my name is Karina Garcia and I will be presenting on Italian desserts. Okay, so starting off, the country I chose for this presentation is Italy. And Italy is a country located in southern Europe. And as you can see in this map, Italy has a very unique and distinguishable shape, being that it's shaped like a boot. So that's a very easy way to point out where Italy is located in the map. The population in Italy is about 59.55 million people, and the primary language spoken there is Italian. Food culture is a huge part of Italian culture, and a lot of Italians take a lot of pride in their foods. Many people can say that Italy can be experienced through its food. You may be familiar or have tried some popular Italian dishes such as pizza, lasagna, or gelato. And a very common food practice in Italy is that a lot of their main dishes are paired with a glass of wine. And a quick fun fact about Italy is that Italy is actually the world's largest wine producing country. And I'm going to go further into Italy's food culture and the Italian desserts. But the reason why I chose to do my presentation on Italy is because it is personally one of my favorite cuisines. And as someone who has a huge sweet tooth, I just love eating Italian desserts. Okay, so now moving on to how the climate affects food. So the climate in Italy varies on location, and it can be split up into southern Italy and northern Italy, and they both have very different climates. So in southern Italy, it has a lot warmer weather, and because of that, they has a bit different food culture practices, such as dry pastas are a lot more common in southern Italy because of the warm weather, and things such as olive oil are more popular because of the olive trees and them requiring to be grown in warmer climates, as well as agriculture such as growing vegetables and chilies is more popular in southern Italy, again, because of its warmer weather, and that allows them for there to be more growth of crops. In northern Italy, the weather is a bit different. It's a lot colder than southern Italy. And because of that, dry pastas are not as popular and fresh pastas are a lot more popular there. And because of their colder weather not allowing olive trees to be grown, substitutes such as butter and lard are a lot more popular in their dishes. However, because they do have colder weather, a traditional food practice such as aging pork products is more commonly done in northern Italy, and this can result as the very popular Italian meat of prosciutto. So now moving on into the history of Italy, Italian food culture is heavily influenced by Italy's history, and this can be traced back to during the Roman Empire. So the Italian cuisine is highly influenced by their Roman ancestors, and this is and by the way that they adapted ingredients from the lands that they conquered, such as spices from the Middle East, fish from the Mediterranean, and cereals from North Africa. And another practice that the Italians adapted was that the Romans very commonly had banquets and feasts to celebrate their foods and their dishes. And this was very popular in the higher classes of Italy. And for the lower classes, they adapted something such as the Mediterranean triad, which consisted of wine, olive oil, and bread. Another event that highly impacted the Italian cuisine was when the barbarians came to the peninsula and there was a clash and exchange of cuisines. When the barbarians came, they introduced butter and beer, and the Romans exchanged and passed on wine and olive oil to the barbarians. And later on in the Middle Ages, Sicily became an Arabic colony, and the Arab influenced heavily a lot of Sicilian dishes, and food practices such as dry pasta became a lot more popular, and spices and dried fruit were more heavily introduced into Sicily and still continue to influence a lot of the Sicilian dishes today. Another event that occurred was when the empire declared Christianity as their legal religion, and this caused there to be an implication and restriction towards some foods. However, this was later lifted in the later Middle Ages. So going on to the later Middle Ages and the Renaissance, an event that really impacted Italian cuisine was when the Crusades opened up Europe and encouraged trade among countries. The voyages that were taking place were combining different flavors from neighboring countries. And there was a lot of discovery of new foods, new dishes, and new sauces, causing a fusion of cuisines. And there was a lot more of different countries influencing the Italian cuisine, such as Arabs introduced sugarcane and lemons and oranges into the Italian cuisine. So now I'll be further discussing how culture affects food. A family and cooking are very important in Italy, and Italians take pride in their family's cooking. Therefore, recipes are passed down with care and pride, and they continue to pass down their legacy and their cookings from generations to generations. Now I'll be talking about a very popular dessert. You may have tried it before, called tiramisu. It is the most popular dessert in Italy, and despite its popularity, it is actually a modern Italian dessert. The word tiramisu translates to pick me up, and the pastry originates from Treviso, and the specific origin of this dessert is unknown. However, there's a lot of myths, none of them being concerned, but a very popular one is that this was a dessert given to the soldiers during World War II as a pick-me-up, as it says in its name. The ingredients for this popular dessert are ladyfingers dipped in coffee with a whipped mixture and cocoa powder. However, because of its popularity, there are many variations to this dessert. So now I'll be discussing gelato, which is an Italian style ice cream. Gelato means frozen in Italian, and gelato originates from Sicilian roots. And this dessert is heavily influenced by Arab culinary traditions. It was influenced by a common Arab treat of sorbet, which was made of sugar and fruit juice from ice being mixed with salt. So when this was observed in the Arab countries, Sicily then adapted their version of it, creating gelato. And this quickly gained popularity in Italy and throughout Europe. And for the third dessert, I will be discussing the biscotti, which originated from Prato, Tuscany, Italy. And biscotti means twice cooked. It is a cookie that is cooked twice and commonly dipped in either coffee or wine. When dipped in wine, it's usually dipped in the sweet wine. And the original form is that it is an almond biscuit, but due to its popularity, there are many different versions of the biscotti. A very popular one is biscotti with chocolate chips in it. And it is history. It's said to have been ate by the Romans during their travels. And this was because it had a long shelf life, and then this regained popularity again during the Renaissance, and that's when it became popular to dip the biscotti in wine. So now we'll be talking about the Italian influence in the United States. As many of you guys may have already come across Italian food in the United States, the US has a huge Italian influence in the cuisine. And Italian food is just a very popular type of food here. One being ice cream is the American version of gelato. Ice cream is extremely popular in the United States. The Italian cuisine has become very popular in the US, and there are many Italian products that are sold at local grocery stores. One huge influence from Italian cuisine is pizza. Pizza originated in Italy, and the US has adopted many different versions of their pizza. There is New York pizza, there's Chicago pizza, there's Detroit style pizza, and I believe there's also a California style pizza. So there is a huge fusion of Italian and American cuisine in the United States, and this is seen through different flavors, different pastas, and just many different dishes. And these are my sources. Thank you.